All right, so for today, I'm going to try to create new or a simple application using the DevEco 2.1, and I'm going to build a simple calculator, a very simple calculator, just to see, just to experience how it is to build application using the DevEco2 HarmonyOS SDK. All right, so here I'm going to create a new HarmonyOS project. So here there are a few options, either to use JavaScript, but here I'm going to create empty ability Java, which basically allow me to create for multiple devices. Because this is very similar to Android Studio with Java programming, so I'm going to choose this as my main template. All right, so I'm going to create new project using the empty ability. So here I'm going to give the application name called simple calculator, or the project name should be simple calc. All right, so this is a simple calculator. Project type application. So I'm not quite sure why by default it basically selected set to service. It should set to application. Package name. So I'm going to give it com.slumberger.simple.simplecalc. Save location. Device type API version select 4 or maybe 5. Not sure that which version is. You can choose 5 or you can choose 4 to support API version 4. So device type phone and tablet for now. And I think that's it. Finish. All right, so what we need now is the Huawei documentation. All right, so the documentation for HarmonyOS developer is basically available under documentation tab in the developer.harmonyos.com. So all the reference for the development basically available in this page. All right, so now this is just a simple calculator. What we need now is to build the interface. So we're going to look at the interface, which basically provided through Java slice resources. So under resources, we look at base, and this is where all the application resources is being structured. So ability.main, this is the layout. Basically the same with Android Studio, equivalent to activity main.xml. All right, so here what we have is a layout with what we call as a directional layout with a simple text down there and a hello world. All right, so the way that I wanted to design or I want to build this application, just a simple layout. So my layout is going to be a layout here, and then we're going to have input. Up here is a simple text, simple calculator, and down here we're going to have 2 input, which is a text field. So you have 2 text field, and then you have a button down here to calculate, and we're going to put the result down here. So this is our target, to build as simple as possible and to learn how HarmonyOS design its interface. All right, so we have hello world here. Let me try to add element. So the first thing that we wanted to add is the, let me try to search text field. Right, so text field basically input. So I guess this one for the reference. So the first one here, hello world. So ID is hello world. Let me put basic text here. So there's a hard-coded text, simple calculator. So I hope that basically will print out a simple calculator text. And then this is the text field. I'm looking for the, not this one. I believe this one. We'll look at the other basic attribute that we can use. All right, so this is a text field, creating text field component. So setting text field. All right, we start with the basic. Okay, we start with the basic. So I'm going to have text field. So text field here for Hig, we can set to match content. So it's follow the size of the text. Width, we can follow parent. So later maybe if we can set the parent width, so it will follow parent. To close this, basically the same with any XML. So we can just close this with that bracket. And of course for text field, we need ID. So I'm going to take ID for the text field. So this is kind of text field, call it num A. All right, so this is the first text field. So what else that we can add to the text field? So you can set manual Hig. So the set to VP, I'm not quite sure what's VP. So we need to further dig into the resolution of the, maybe there's a variable pixel here. So they will base on the pixel density. They have left padding and everything. Can set background element. All right, so maybe we can implement this shape. So if we want to implement shape, we need to create this shape file. So shape file, we need to put it under graphic directory. So graphic directory basically in this folder. So I'm going to create new file here. New file, give it a name. And we can use this shape. So this is basically the same with Android Studio. Right, so this is the shape. So the background color for my text field, I'm going to change this to provide a little bit of shade, that color. So I'm going to use that color for the background. Let's set radius corner. Okay, we set it to 20, not too much for the radius. All right, so once we have that, we can use hint. Okay, so hint. All right, so maybe we can use, sorry, we already have that. Enter this one, enter first number. Not quite sure about the vertical text alignment, set to vertical center. So what else do we have here? Cursor bubble, so you can see there's a bubble there. If you wanted that, what else do we have? padding. So they do have padding here. So let's just try it all and see the result later. Left padding, right padding with VP again, bottom padding, multiple line. Since this is just a single line, so I'm going to set this to false. Not going to create multiple line input. So set to false. The rest, this cursor bubble for what? This for this, right? I think that's all for the text field. So we have our text field here. Type. Yeah, one more that we need is the input type, text input type, because this is input. So somewhere text input type. So here they have this autocomplete code. So you can use pattern number. For the background element, okay, so forgot to import that. So the background element that we set, the background text field, so we need this so that the background will set to the background text field. All right, so we have the first number. I'm going to have the second number text field down there. So this is will be text field B, and the second number. All right, so what else do we need? We need button. Okay, so button is up here. So button basically, yeah, we can just straight away use this button. Right, so ID button, and you need a background button. So we basically going to create background element in the graphic folder. So here we can just create new file, create the file, and for the background button, we're going to take this, put it in there. All right, so you can change the different color to different radius and whatnot. Okay, so this one, element left and right, I'm not quite sure what is this just yet. Button reload. This one, we can just use calculator. Okay, so that basically for button. What else do we need for button? We'll see from there. And then at the end, we need a text for result. So I'm going to call that and give this an ID, text result. All right, so result for the text output. So let's see if we can get something out of this and give it a try and test this UI. So you have your title up here. So maybe we can set it to a little bit bigger. We set to 60. And the result set to 40. All right, so let me try to run this through my device manager. All right, so I already have logged in this. So if you haven't logged in, make sure that you log in to be able to access your virtual device. So for every session, they provided 60 minutes. Okay, so you have 60 minutes for each session. So let me try to run this UI and let's see if we manage to get the UI or not. Our intended UI. This is a directional layout. And basically, when DevEco2 compile relatively fast. So that what I like about this. Okay. All right. So 22 seconds. So you should be able to see your application running. All right, so that is a simple calculator. So you have your input over there. You have a button down there, the result over there. So I might need to set padding for my directional layout. Is there any padding here? Yes, we can have padding. So I'm going to set padding to, let's say, 60. I'm not sure what is VP. 60 VP, visual pixel. And I need padding amongst this input here. All right, so for that text field, the first text field, if there's any, is it a padding or margin? Let's try with padding first. Padding, so let's say set to 10 VP. So the same with the second one. So we set padding, there's a padding already there. So let's see if we can, or maybe margin. Let's work with margin lah. Margin, I'm going to set to VP, and also the same with the second input. And let's try this, stop and rerun. All right, much better now, right? So you can see there's a button there. Maybe if you want the button to be the text for the button, text color we set to white. Okay, for the button there, and maybe for the button size also, let's try the input. So you need, for every time that you run your AVD, you need to turn on a virtual keyboard here. They need to improve on that. All right, so there's only a number keyboard. So those are basically the output. So I can use number here. All right, so for calculator button, maybe we can change a little bit about the button, radius for the button. Maybe I can set padding for the button. So we have padding already. Left padding, margin. So we have margin, we have padding. If we set padding to all, padding, let's say 20 VP, run. Okay, so much bigger button. So again, the same for this. If you wanted this to make it a little bit bigger, so we can set our maybe text size a little bit bigger from here. Text field, padding, text size. Maybe we can set text. Is there any text size margin? Yeah, we do have text size. So let's say we set text size to 20 VP. Right, so let's see 20 VP for text field. And run. All right, so much bigger text size. All right, so okay, when user click on this button, we will show the result for this and this down there. All right, so I believe this is the UI that I intended for this simple application. So next, we need to be able to interact, or we need to be able to access each of the component here, each of the widgets, call it widget, or component. All right, so if For the logic here, what we need now is to be able to get this value from the first text field, which is text field num A and text field num B, and then do some operation with it. When user press this color, maybe we can just perform simple add operation. So we can add between this and this and show the result down there. So that is basically the idea now. So I'm going to close that for the UI. So I'm going to go to the programming part. All right, so how do we interact with the application? How do we interact with the interface? So the logic part is basically in the main ability slice. So we can see that this is main ability, and if we want to do any programming here, let me try to define or try to access the first variable, which is text field tf a. Can we do that? Text field tfb. Okay, so text field basically a class for text field. So we have two text field. So I just want to test if we can actually access from here, or else we might need to go beyond here. Because this one is on start. And let's see if we can initialize our text field. Okay, so text field equal text field. So this is equivalent to find view by ID, find component by ID. Okay, so they call it find component by ID. Resource table dot ID A. It doesn't seem to, should be okay, but we cannot access. Okay, forgot about that. Let's see if we can actually use inside here. So this is a TFB, the second one. So TFB. So just to test if I can initialize and call it binding with the layout. So try to run this, or else we might need to access to another class. Oh yeah, should be no problem. All right, so we define our object up here, and we have the first one, the second one. We have the text field A and text field B, and now we need button. All right, so for button btn, call it btn, and finally the result should be as a text. Text. txt result, and of course you need to import class, and down here we need to some sort like bind or make a reference. So for button we have button, and since this is just the same code, one thing for the ID here, you need to make sure that you make the right reference to the ID. So like that. So this is tf num A. You need to add ID underscore in the front. Okay, so for button, and finally for our text result. So text result equal text result. Text. Same. Put underscore. So this is a text result. Close with that. All right. So what's next? We need to implement what we call as a button listener. All right, so for the button listener, try to this. Should be able to, sorry, btn dot set click listener. Set click listener. Right, so now we can implement the listener. New component click listener. Right, so you have your listener for click in there with the override method implement on click. All right, so what we have now, when user click on this button, and we need to be able to take the value from here and perform the operation, show the result back. All right, so value, what type of value? Integer, double. So let's say we use double. Double, let's say A. I believe this is the same with Java. So we need to convert to double, and we need to get dfa dot get text. And sorry, this should be pass double with string. All right, so we get the first value, and then we need to get the second value. So this is tfb and double b, and then we just perform double result equal, if you want to perform plus a plus b. And finally, we set the result true text result dot set text. So we can have our result. Okay. So let's try this. So which means that we implement the click button. Run, stop and run. Let's see if we can get this to work. Nope, is it? No, I don't think so. I just want to try if I can do it here. I know I can do it in another class, but let's just try if this can work here. No, it doesn't. All right, so it means that I cannot make it to work here. So there's another class that I can access to, which is called main ability slice. All right, so for main ability slice, this one main ability extend ability should be the same. Is there any reason that I cannot get it to run? No, it's just should be the same, right? On click listener. If I cannot get it to work here, maybe I can get it to work in the here. Is it main ability slice? Yeah. I can get it to work here, I know, but I just want to try if I cannot run. Okay, so I need to access another file called main ability slice, which is available here. So main ability slice, okay, so main ability slice, I'm not quite sure how actually we can access the file. So the way that I access is through here, through this, and just click on this main ability slice. So the file actually inside here. It's just another subclass. All right, so I'm going to take all this instead of put it there. So I'm going to put it inside this on start once the layout has been generated here. So actually you can just create another method and then call it from there just to initialize your component. All right, so let's say if we put it inside this main ability slice, extend ability slice. So this one you should be able to get it to run. All right. All right, so now let's try our application. So I have to restart my Notepad Pro. I'm not quite sure why. It should run without any problem. So now we have our keyboard back. You cannot use your onboard key, your physical keyboard here. I've tried to look around, but to no luck. So let me try to enter data here. Okay, so down, press count, you get the result. 34 plus 88, 122. Okay, so 377, or we just put some, oops, sorry again. You cannot use keyboard. You need to use this virtual keyboard here. Let's say 5 plus 5. Calculate. Okay, so you get the result down there, 10. 52. Calculate. 57. All right, so very simple. I try, this is just to test. Normally, if I do this in Android Studio, so this is where we put it there. We put it here. But it seems that there's another class called main ability slice that basically, I'm not quite sure it's hidden, but it is basically under this folder slice. Okay, so there are 3 classes here, the N3 class, that when the application starts, you have these 2 classes that deals with the layout for the init layout, and then main ability class here when it call the layout ability main. So you can see that this is ability main.xml, which is this file, and then you need to put layout right in the front and the name of the file, of the layout file, to be able to call this file. All right, so once you have that, you need to update your main ability slice. So your ability, you need to define all your object related to the component that you use, and then assign the value. Assign the object to its component ID, and then implement button listener. So if you want to perform operation, get the value here, and do some processing and show the result down there. So just a very simple layout design, and also layout, and also logic. So more or less the same with Android Studio, Java, but there's a few twists here and there that you might need to look around, or you need to trying to understand. Okay, so for the layout here, basically the same, but they put a horse right in front instead of Android. I'm not quite sure what it's horse, maybe HarmonyOS, or not sure what is that. ID, there's a little twist there, but the rest is basically the same. This is just a standard XML file. Layout, they have a multiple type of layout, so you can refer layout somewhere down here. They have directional layout, dependent layout, stack layout, table layout, position layout, and adaptive box layout. Each other component here you can refer and implement that through your XML. And to interact, main ability.slice, and you can do interaction almost the same like your Android Studio, your Java Android Studio. All right, so I think that's all from me, and this is basically my first experience with programming with DevEco2, and be able to create a simple application using the SDK. All right, so yeah, one thing that I don't like here, you need to restart your Notepad Pro through Device Manager when the timer reach 0. But the good thing is that it's quite fast. Okay, it's very, very fast. So you don't have to wait a long time. Let's say if I stop here, you can see how long it takes for the Device Manager to run. Okay, so applying device, and like 3, 4, 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, you should be able to use it already. Okay, so quite fast. All right, I think that's all from me. So keep learning, keep sharing. Bye-bye.